Hi guys, welcome back to the channel, and as the weather gets muddy and wet, we thought we'd do a little test, a little comparison video against the two latest wedges. We've got the MG4 from TaylorMade and the T24 from Mizuno. Both great looking wedges. Let's get out on the green and see how they perform. But remember, if you like our videos, please hit that subscribe button and tell all your golfing friends. All in all, these two wedges are unbelievably good. So we reviewed this wedge before, the MG4 from TaylorMade, and it's a pretty good wedge. It's changed not a lot from MG3 because it's so popular, but I know from speaking to the reps and the guys that a lot of the tour players have immediately flipped into the MG4 wedge, which is great. Well, there's a couple of key differences for me. Number one, it's the grooves. So you've got this spin tread technology where what they've done is the micro grooves in between the main grooves are angled at 45 degrees, which means that when you open the club up, what they're trying to do is continue gaining more grip and more spin. And the other thing that's important, and I think this is probably more important from my perspective visually, is they've made this sort of the differential between the face and the edge of the head much more smoother. In the old wedges gone by, and especially back in the MG2 days, this middle section would rust up really quickly and stand out, and against a solid chrome would look quite awful. So it's a good looking wedge. Let's see how it fares against that magic of the T24. Now, Mizuno have typically always brought out a good looking wedge. It hasn't maybe sold in the shops as well as we would like, and definitely I would like, and I've never really understood why. I think one of the reasons is because they didn't have enough options in grind and bounce, and this year they've added an awful lot. I've got the 5810V grind here, different shape to the sole as you can see. Much more knowledge and more information is going in with the work that SM9 and the guys at Vokey have done over the years. Much more interest in how grind and bounce works. So a few more options. I think the satin finish in this looks brilliant. Mizuno, being Mizuno, are going to forge this wedge brilliantly. It's going to be a great feel. The extra options are going to help for the fitter. Let's get it out on the green and see how they compare. So here we are out here today on the par 3 course at Kingsway Golf Centre, and we're going to put these two wedges to the test. So I'm going to hit a few with the MG4 first, the TaylorMade. I'm going to hit this, I'm going to put this into 3 tests. So I'm going to do a little chip shot, you can see the distance here. We're going to move back to about 40-50 yards, and then we're going to try some around the green shots out of the rough. They're both 58s, so it's a fair comparison. And what we're really looking at is how, my opinion is going to be based on how it sits behind the golf ball, because that's quite important to me, but also how it feels off the face and how it reacts when they hit the green. So we hit 2 or 3 with each, and let's see how we get on. So straight away, we'll go, where should we go? We'll go yellow flag, Chris, there. So 58. Well, it works when you fat it, that's for sure. It didn't dig in too much. I mean, it looks nice. This one looks really big. So MG4 in the 58 looks really big in the toe area when you lay it down behind the golf ball, which I guess when you're looking at maybe using this in a bunker would be really helpful. Feels firm. It feels quite firm off of the face immediately. We're not paying off of real tight fairways here, but that felt quite firm. That was a better contact. Spins up lovely. I will say that spun and gripped quite nice. So all in all, that was a really good wedge. Into the Mizuno. Now, naturally the Mizuno always feels like it sits really flat. As soon as I've grabbed this, it looks fatter. Now, the shape of this is completely different. So much more of a teardrop shape. It looks a bit smaller than the MG4. Feels actually longer. It's not longer, is it? It really feels like it. Yeah, it is. It's considerably longer. It's sort of ½ inch longer, which is quite amazing, really. Wow, that was silly soft. Oh my word. I mean, that was an awful shot, but in terms of the feel off of the face, that was so much softer. Okay, so overall, I think the feel off of this from this shorter distance, the T24 is just pipping it for me. I personally like a slightly smaller head in the wedge, so it sits tighter behind the ball. It's just something that's my personal preference. Actually, the softness of that feel is winning from this distance. Let's head back to 40 yards, 40, 50 yards, and see what they feel like with a more of a pitch shot. So here we are, back 30, I think we're about 35, 40 yards, so decent distance. So let's hit a couple in here and see what this does. So I'm going to hit into the blue flag. I'll go T24 first, as I've still got it in my hand. Oh wow, did you hear that sound? Super, super soft, looks great. Oh, that was stunning. A real nice wedge. So let's get MG4 in. So as we said when we were hitting chip shots, that was a little bit firmer. A little bit firmer on the face. So let's see if we get the same reaction. Oh, I like that. Oh wow. That one seriously gripped. I know it pitched into the upslope just a smidge, but that seriously gripped. Skid. Oh wow, did you see the spin on that? Huh? I don't think I've been able to do that before. Maybe I thinned it a little bit. This is going to be tight. From here, I'm preferring the MG4. Oh yes. From here on MG4, I definitely on that slightly longer. Maybe it's because it is slightly firmer. I think I prefer that feeling. Let's go round side the green in a little bit of rough and see which one I can get to control. So far, I think it's 1-1. T24 for me from the short fairway chip, but definitely MG4 back from the 30-40 yards. So let's see, we're going to hit 2 or 3 balls from around the edge here in this rough. Short shot, bit of difficulty. We're going to open this blade up a little bit as well. Let's see if this wonderful tread they've got on the face can really help. Oh yes. Okay, I'm going to go T24 now. Let's get in there, little lower positions. What I don't really like is how much longer this is, this close to the green, so I'm really feeling like I'm having to grip down on the grip. Oh, it pops up lovely. I don't know if I'm going to have to sit on the fence with this one, Chris. Oh, I can't finish on that one. That was a player problem rather than a club problem. What do you reckon? Okay. Lovely. Okay, so there we go, guys. We've hit in 3 locations. We've hit that short chip, we've hit that 40 yard, and we've hit that one around the green. I think all in all, these 2 wedges are unbelievably good. The softness of this T24 is quite crazy for me around the green, actually. That short shot around the rough was really good. I love the firmness of this out back at the 40 yards. So it's a very difficult one. I could see some players kind of going 54 in here and 52 in here and 58, 60 in here. I could actually see you doing that. I'm going to have to pick a winner. That's how these things work. It's going to be really tight. I think in terms of price point, they're both similar as well, so there's not a lot to choose from if I was comparing that. They look, I think if I was picking on look, so if we use our AFGolfStore scoring system, if I look on look, for me, T24 just heads it, so 1-0 to T24. If I look on feel, I love the feel of how soft that is, but I think if I was going to be playing this wedge a bit more often, I'm going to give it to MG4. So it's 1 apiece. Affordability, this one's a little bit more money, but not a lot. So unfortunately, still cheaper than some brands, but yeah, I think you're going to have to give affordability to the T24. So it's 2-1. Custom options. Well, it's one of them ones, we build both, so we can stick what you want in it in terms of shaft and lie and whatnot. So it's got a tie for custom. Then on performance, it's going to come down to performance. It's 2-1 so far. I think for me, the versatility for that longer shot, I'm going to have to give it to the MG4. So overall, sorry guys, I'm going to sit on the fence with this one. Head to head, T24 versus MG4 is 2-2. It's a complete tie. So there we go, guys. Sorry to say I had to sit on the fence with this one. T24 versus the MG4, both spectacular wedges. Really just depends on what you want to do with them and how much you would do. But I definitely think this year the T24 from Mizuno, you really need to think about with them extra bounce and grind options. MG4 is always a good wedge, so it's always going to be, or TaylorMade's wedge is always going to be a good wedge, so it needs to be in the mix anyway when you're testing new wedges. Remember, if you like our channel, you like our reviews, you like our comparisons, please hit that subscribe button and tell all your golfing friends.